All right, welcome everybody. Episode 4. We'll get to that later. Of Tales from the Gunshow. All right, so we were in Indiana near Fort Wayne. So new location, new people, and wouldn't you know it, one of the first questions I get asked, "You got one for a 9mm?" I'm gonna start making this a T-shirt or something, or it needs to be a sticker. Something. Every show without fail, I get asked this same question. I get different variations of the question. You got one for my 9mm? Or, hey, I've got a 9mm. Can you make a holster for it? Or I got a Smith & Wesson 9mm. I get a little bit more information. Yeah, what model? I don't know. Well, you find out the model. These are model specific. And I really think I'm starting to figure it out. Why people are asking this. And I think it's because of the generic nylon or like universal crap that you see at like, probably not Cabela's, it's probably like Walmart and stuff, like where you can get like a Black Hawk Serpa, and it's almost like, even though those are technically model specific, the nylon like Allen holsters and things like that, they are based off of frame size or caliber size, and they have been for years. It used to be just, if you have a 9mm or a 45, you would get a holster that was set up for that because they were typically around the same frame size. So it's starting to make sense why a lot of ignorant people, and I'm not saying this as an insult, just they're ignorant to it, they don't know any better, to how a form-fitted holster works. It is still hilarious, and it's just not acceptable. Just learn what you're talking about. Anyway, I'm not being mean. The truth hurts, all right? Anyway, so I got asked that about 4 or 5 times within the first day. And it happened again maybe once or twice the second day. So let's just say that this is going to be like a reoccurring, you got a 9mm holster. All right. Another finger on the trigger. Regardless of, this was I couldn't tell you what revolver it was, but regardless of whether or not it's zip tied with the trigger to the rear, because they clear them out and they zip tie them to make them to where they can't shoot. You still, it's best practice to just not do that. But, especially with the revolver, which technically, if the trigger's pinned to the rear and something was to go wrong, you could load the cylinder and fire the gun. If you know what I'm talking about. So, and they sell ammo there, so it's not a good idea. Just don't do it. So this one, I had a stoner guy that came up to me, and it was weird because he came up to me and I'll lean back and was like, and he did that for like a minute. And I'm like, hey, can I help you? You got any questions? Yeah. And then he like realized that he was standing in front of me. And then he's like, I need a holster for, what is it? It's a 9mm. I'm like, all right, okay, we're getting there. Let's bring it in. I think it's a Taurus, maybe, or a Ruger, or a Smith. I'm like, okay, well, you go figure that out. And he's like, yeah, I gotta walk around and think about it. And then so he stood there for another 30 seconds. He walked around, came back, and he's like, it's a Taurus. Like, this is like an hour later. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know what model of Taurus? No, I'll come back. And he came back another hour, and he's like, it's a G3, or no, it wasn't even a G3. I don't know what he said. It was like, over the course of 3 hours, we finally got what this guy needed, and I didn't have it, but it was just, that was funny. Bunch of mouth breathers and some really interesting looking people. Nothing really that stood out. Nothing that was like a real. There is one that I'm going to get to that was probably the funniest one that I had so far. I was walking around, and there was some table with airsoft guns. And I've been wanting to get into some airsoft gun for some dry fire training. And I'm looking at them, and before I could even like approach the tables fully, this little maybe 7-year-old kid just yells at me, "Hey, no touching unless you're gonna buy them, or until you buy them." And I'm like, all right, man, I'm just looking. Cool it. You got it. And then he picks up an airsoft gun, racks it, points it at me, and he's like, bang, you're dead. Bang, bang, you're dead. I'm like, whose kid is this? Where are your parents? Are you even allowed to be here? What are you doing? And I'm like, I lost it. I was just laughing so bad. This little kid held me up with an airsoft gun. And it wasn't just me. I heard him like throughout the whole show just yelling, hey! Like, all right, there's that little boy. So it was really kind of uneventful. I might not have been paying that attention. I was busy. So I probably did not pay that much attention to the goings-ons around me. I did have some funny stuff happen, right? But I might not have wrote it down. It was one of my best shows. I can say that. But this guy here happened the day before when I was getting ready to do some inventory. And let's see if you guys can see that. Yeah, so that's just from there. But it goes through. I probably went at least 3/8 of an inch into my finger with the bandsaw. So if you're operating machinery at night, take your time and watch where your hands go. It might bite you. Anyway, let me give you guys an update too on the next couple of gun shows we're probably going to be at with at least this promoter. So anyway, if you are in the local area and you want to come see us at our gun shows, we will be March 7th and 8th. We'll be at the Macomb gun show at the Lakeside Mall in Sterling Heights. Then Frankenmuth on March 14th to 15th. That'll be at the Harvey Kern Community Pavilion. And March 28th to 29th, we'll be at the Capitol Gun Show in Lansing, Michigan. So that'll be next month. February, I don't think we have too many planned. I got to look at the other promoter. We might have one or two. I'll keep you updated and post on that. We'll probably actually post a forward production of all of our shows we're going to. Might even put a page up on the website to let everybody know this is the shows we're coming at too. So if you want to come give us a weird story in person and make it on the episode, by all means, come see us at the shows. But a pretty light one. And that's all for episode 4 of Tales from the Gun Show, the Fort Wayne, Indiana version. Until then, we'll catch you guys at the next one. Hopefully, we have some bangers at the next one, because this one was pretty light. Other than the kid sticking me up with an airsoft gun. But we'll catch you on the next one.